Amadou Tinder. What is it? How to find it? How to process it? And finally, how to make fire with it. Hello and welcome to watch how to make Tinder fungus from amadou. Amadou Tinder is made from horseshoe fungus. So first of all, we gotta find one, and then we process it, and finally we're gonna make a fire with it. Horseshoe fungus, Tinder fungus, or how we say in Finland, taulakääpä, lives in the birch bark. I don't know if it's gonna live in other leaf trees, but in birch it will. So first of all we're gonna need find some dead or wounded birch, usually it's the stumps. Then we're gonna find some horseshoe fungus on it. So let's go take a walk to the forest and find some wounded birch, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna find some horseshoe fungus too. Okay, let's go. Well, actually it didn't take so long when we find one. So take a look. Here is a fallen birch from the storm, and it's full of the fungus. Now check it out. It's full of this fungus. This one right here. I will show you. It's full of it. And as you can see, it looks like a horseshoe. So the name horseshoe fungus will come from this. Unfortunately, these are pretty small, all of them. So we gonna need make a little walk further to find. I know a very good place where a big stump of birch is standing. I'm pretty sure we're gonna find a much bigger fungus there. So let's go take a walk, okay? So we are walking this path right here. You can see all kind of animal tracks, deer, maybe a fox. But first of all, we're gonna find horse marks too. So maybe we are getting near to find some horse hoof fungus too. Okay. So a couple of 100 meters left. It's -2 degrees Celsius and I'm already sweating like a pig. So I'm taking my jacket off for a while and take a little break. A few words about the law. In Finland we have this thing called jokamiehen oikeudet. I think the word in English would be every man's rights. The law allows you to collect mushrooms, berries, fish with a worm, tempting in almost everywhere here in Finland. The law doesn't allow you to collect mushrooms like chaka, because if you take the chaka off the birch it will harm the tree. But horseshoe fungus it grows outside the hull of the birch, so if you snap it off, so the birch doesn't get wounded or anything like that, so you can take berries and mushrooms if you don't harm the nature at anyways. So we will take a short break, and soon we will be at that direction. I remembered right, I can see the cut down birch from here. If I remember right, it does have some much bigger horseshoe fungus on the hull of the birch. We did see some smaller ones, but in my experience, I think the bigger ones are easier to operate, peeling off the outer layers of the horseshoe fungus, because we need to get that inner part of the fungus, that we can continue to process it to amadou tinder. So we take a break, and soon we will be at that direction. Okay. So here we are. This birch was damaged. It cut down its top on a storm in 2015. So I think that the horseshoe fungus you will see here takes 7 years to grow at that size. Let me show you. So here it is. The brown part here, that's the coal. That's the good part of this fungus. So we need to peel off those outer layers here. We take 2, that's enough. We didn't need more, we get enough amadou tinder from these 2. So I put these in back, and then we will be walking back home, and we need to take a bit hurry, because sun is getting down, and I didn't take my headlamp with me, so it's getting pretty dark before I get home, but I can always follow my footstep back to home. And then we take the next part, that's processing these fungus to amadou tinder. Okay, let's take a walk. And one more thing, I will show you that the tree is missing the top, and you see a lot of the amadou tinder here. This is where we take those horseshoe fungus out from the hull of this birch. So you can see that we didn't harm the tree. It's already dead, so it didn't harm in any way. This is what I talk about, that you can collect mushrooms and other stuff if you don't harm the nature at anyways. Okay, so let's take a walk back home now. So, the first part of the process is peeling off those outer layers. So, here we have our horseshoe fungus, and the tools you're gonna need is a knife. You can use a chisel, wood chisel, and I highly recommend some sort of protection gloves that prevents cuts, so you don't have any injuries. Like I said before, we're gonna need this brown part here. So all these pipe sort of things and that outer layer, all this and all this needs to be removed. So we get our hands in this. So let me begin. This is a very slow process. Sometimes it cracks with your hand, so you don't need that. But not this time. You don't need that knife, but not this time. So we need to get our hands here. Let me put some protection gloves so I don't get cut. Hopefully I don't do that again, or my wife will be not so grateful. This is our kitchen table. These pipes, they usually come off pretty easily, by hand sometimes. But this wood chisel is great tool for this. It doesn't need to be sharp. You just pop them off. the outer layer, the upper layer is usually the hardest part. It's kind of a harder stuff, so the knives don't always get to it. There's two layers of this pipe sort of thing. So you need to, first you need to take off the first part and then the second part. So here is what the underpart should look after you remove those these pipe looking things underneath the fungus. So you don't have to make it all clear. It doesn't mind at all if there's some left, but try to get it as clean as possible. You can almost feel it already. It's a kind of a softer leathery thing in the middle of the fungus. So next thing we need to remove this white gray stuff out, and then I will make it some boiling, but I need to clean it a little bit first. Like I said, it doesn't mind if there's some of those pipe things attached to it. They will remove it from later process, but try to get it as clean as possible. I could use a much sharper knife. This thing is a real pain in the ass to get off the top of the fungus. Maybe I should try the chisel. That doesn't work at all. The top layer is much more important to get off because it's this hard kind of stuff that doesn't cooperate with the process to getting the amadou soft, leathery like, channels like. So you need to remove it all. Don't leave any of it, or it will ruin the process. Also, try to avoid this too. It's a mistake. It isn't ruined. We can fix it. We just don't mind it, but the end product would be much nicer if it's full without any holes. So try to avoid those. I really need some sharper knife. Just a little bit left. So here is what it looks like now. The gray stuff from the top is peeled off as good as I can, and this pipe thing underneath the fungus there's two layers of this, so you need to remove both of them as good as you can. There's always something left, like you see here and here. I don't know if you can see it, but it doesn't matter. The top layer is where you need to take all off as good as you can. So next thing, we're gonna make a mixture from ash and water. Some say that only ash from the birch will do it, but in my experience it doesn't matter if it's from pine or spruce or some kind of other leaf tree. You made a mixture, about a handful of ash and half a liter of water. It doesn't be so accurate. Then you boil it 15 minutes. You can also use the mixture without boil. You just find a watertight container, something, box where you put the mixture with ash and water and put this in there, and it will stay in there underneath the water 4 days. Every day you can come and take the top off and squeeze it and put it back into the water. Or you can do both, like I do. I will make a 15 minutes boil, and after that I will take it to watertight box with the same water mixture for 4 days, and then we continue to the next process. So I will leave it, this other horsehoof fungus, to the other time. Actually, I have found out the under layer with the pipes comes off pretty easily when the fungus is little drier. So we collect them yesterday, so they are pretty moist still. So I will make it next time. I will show you how much the crap there came. Check it out. That's how much you get those peelings of from this. So that's why I use that newspaper underneath, so it will be easier to clean. And like I said before, I highly recommend these cut-proof gloves when you process them, because you need to, sometimes you have to pull the knife towards you, not away from you. So that will keep you safe from cutting off your hands. So next thing, we will boil this. First we make the mixture. I will show you that. All right, here we have a pot with water in it. Here's the amadou. Here's a little bit of ash, about a fistful. It isn't so accurate, so don't worry about it. We put the ash into the pot and put it on. Fast boiler, and put our amadou in it. Right. So let's have a spoon put it underneath. There's some coal too. It doesn't mind at all. It isn't so accurate. So now we wait that it will be boiling. Okay, it's starting to boil now, so we put it a little bit lower, and we make the timer 15 minutes, so it will cut down itself. Well, actually I don't know the actual chemical process beneath this, but some say that common household soda powder will work too. I don't know, I haven't tried that. You can buy that from pharmacies in Finland. I don't know elsewhere where you can get that household soda. So now we let it boil 15 minutes, then we let it cool a bit, then we put it in this container and box, and I will take it to my garage and leave it peace in 4 days. So I let it cool a bit, because this plastic box, it's so thin material that if I pour a boiling water, hot water in it, I think the box will melt. So I let the water cool a bit, and now we put the amadou in the box. Like that. I know it doesn't look much, but it will be bigger. I know that sounds like me lying to my wife. Then we pour the water mixture in there. As you can see, the coal gets left behind. There will be some of there, but it doesn't matter. So now we put the lid back on the box, and I will take it to the garage and leave it there for 4 days. So next thing, we starting to tap the amadou to get it thinner. So we need a wooden board, cutting board or something, wooden bat, piece of wood. Try to avoid sharp edges, so give it a little bit of sandpaper, file or something, that it's round. And here is the amadou. Let's take a look what it looks like now. Not much. So the process is pretty simple. All you need to do is start tap it like this, gentle, not too hard. So, as you might notice, the amadou is getting thinner and wider, and I forget to say that you need to stretch it, yank it. 2, so you can get the fibers loose. Like this. So, as you might see, we are definitely getting the amadou much thinner now. It looks ugly, but don't worry about it. Now you might wanna squeeze it dry as you can, and then continue to tap it. So I think the amadou is now thin enough. I think it's a couple of millimeters, maybe 3 or 4, and now we let it dry, and then we try to make a fire with it. So it looks ripped, but it doesn't matter. I think I know it will work. So we leave it peace in somewhere, and you can use this ashlye again. So let's put it in the glass. Put the lid back on, so we can use it again if we want to. So we put this in some dry, warm place to dry a piece, and when it's dry, we will make a fire. Here's what you need. First you need your piece of amadou, and let me tell you, this must be the ugliest piece of amadou that I have ever made. But don't worry, it will work. I know it. So first, rip yourself a piece, nice good piece of amadou, about a thumbnail size will do. I'll make it bigger so I can talk to you. So you need a flintstone. Whoops. You place your amadou on the edge of the sharp edge of the flintstone, like that. So next you need a steel. You need a high carbon steel that I made from old file, metal file, because the carbon is the one that makes the sparks fly. So you need to make the spark jump from the steel to the amadou. Then you put your amadou in the Tinder bundle, or like I do, in the roll, and start giving it some air. When it flames, you put the roll and light your bonfire with it. Then you put it down because you can use it again and again. So inside the roll there's leaves, grass, birch bark, juniper bark, whatever flames easily. So we're not making a fire today because this isn't my forest and I don't have a permit for that, but you will get the point. So first let's light this amadou. Oops, wrong end. It wasn't hard, like you see. It lights pretty easily. I'll show it closer. With the dark background, you can see it smokes. You don't have to give it any air. It will burn like this. If you're some kind of trouble, you can always take another piece of amadou and transfer it, and next thing, you put the amadou in the roll and start giving it some air. You get the point, you see? And even that another piece of amadou that I throw away, it's still burning in the snow. So the spark doesn't put out easily. Well, you get the point. I'm not making a fire today. But when it flames, you can light it, then puff it off, tap it, because now when the birch bark and the insides are kind of charred, they ignite much easier next time. So here it is. This is how you make a fire with amadou. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video. If you did like the video, hit on the thumbs up button on the down there, right? If you didn't like the video, hit the thumbs down button. Please tell me why, so I can make it better next time. So if you like to subscribe my channel, you can also do that. You don't have to, but I would be thankful if you do. So, see you next time, and that's it. Goodbye, folks.